I am Ajay Kakar, the Chief Marketing Officer of Aditya Birla Capital. Have you all heard the term new media? Well, I've been hearing it for quite some years now, many years if you ask me. How can new remain new for so many years? What does new mean? Does it mean there's an old media? Does it mean there's an ancient media? I know that whenever we talk about digital media, we call it new media. Why do we call it new? I have no idea. Similarly, when you ask me to speak about modern marketing, I'd like to ask the question, why is modern important? Does that mean there's an ancient marketing? Or is this a changing or a evolving phrase which will move from year to year, time to time, and then we'll have newer ways of describing the word modern? Let me take an example. We all know this is Rishi Kapoor. Rishi Kapoor became an actor and hit the big times with Bobby when he was 18. But from birth to 18 at home, they called him Chintu. When he died at 67, the newspapers talked about Chintu no longer being with us. So imagine a person who was born and called Chintu. As he grew and became mature and had children, he was yet called Chintu. And that's what I mean. It's not about modern marketing versus ancient marketing versus futuristic marketing. I think it's all about marketing. But the importance is that with passing of time, marketing has to be relevant, has to remain relevant. And there are two ways of being relevant. The first is what we call WIFM, or what's in it for me. That's what's in it for the consumer. And why me? So why my brand for my consumer? And according to me, there are two very important pegs, basis which we have to decide this important decision of marketing. Who is my customer? And for that customer, who is competition? Unless you crack this, and you can't say all people above 21, you can't say all people staying in Bombay. You cannot make sweeping statements. You have to define your customer and you have to define the competition that you face in the minds of that customer. Let me give you two examples where I think it did not work, and one example where it worked. The what's in it for me never worked with Ambassador these last few decades. The customer kept changing, the competition kept changing, but Ambassador did not change. And you know what happened to that car. Similarly, I think Yahoo may come in that slot. But on the other hand, look at Amazon. It first started by competing with bookstores. And today it competes with just any category for every customer because it's just a click away. The customer evolved, the competition evolved, and Amazon evolved. So being relevant with the what's in it for me is very important within the marketing mix. But the second and equally more important is how to reach out to your customers. Now, this is where I think the times and tides keep changing. Till yesterday, I communicated through telegrams, then it was letters, then it became emails, and I don't know what it will be tomorrow. So we had print, we had TV, we have internet. I don't know what will be tomorrow. So whatever be the brand's message, whatever be the brand's relevance, the way of reaching out to the customer will, I believe, keep changing. And you all know what happens with the British monarchy, right? When the king dies, they say the king is dead. Long live the king. They mean that the king is never dead. The monarchy continues. So how long have we heard people talk about print is dead? It continues. We talk about TV being dead. It continues. So I don't think I will look at any modern way of communicating. I will look at relevant way of communicating to relevant customers. And that may keep changing or not. It's up to you, depending on you, your brand, and your customer. I'm here today to talk to you about the brand Aditya Birla Capital, which is a one-of-a-kind financial services conglomerate. But by doing so, I am per se representing the Indian financial services industry, though through my learnings and through my observations. So I believe that our category is one of the most blessed categories. We represent the category of money. The minute I say money, tell me one person who doesn't want money or doesn't have money. But everyone wants a life. and a life that they can enjoy the fullest the way they want to. So money becomes a means to that end. What an enviable category. Everyone wants you, everyone needs you. But the reality is we're yet a 5% category. And I call it 5% more figuratively because all our subcategories are underpenetrated. A mutual fund is 5 to 6%, life insurance maybe 4 to 5, health insurance maybe 3 to 4. There are more people who should be in the category than who are in the category. So imagine a product who's relevant to everyone and yet such underpenetration. Therefore, I believe marketing in financial services is an evergreen function. Anyone who wants to take a good challenge in marketing, come over to the financial services industry. Yes, times change there too. Our messaging has changed. So in good old years, we used to talk about roti, kapda or makan, the bare basics of life. So all of us advertise that come to our brand, come to our category, and you will never be short on roti, kapda and makan. More recent times, it changed. The audience changed. His needs, dreams changed, and it became about extravagance. The best car, the best holiday, the best phone, the best everything. Because dreams and aspirations became part of a generation. And look at last year. It became all about protection. The needs may change, the lead need may change, and therefore marketing has to adapt itself with it. Let me look at what makes financial services marketing extremely unique. Unlike any other category, I believe that what we sell is a product which has no feel. You cannot feel it, you cannot touch it, you cannot experience it. I can't tell you, Mem saab, ye saadi touch karke dekhiye. Bahut acha hai. But on the other hand, what I'm selling you is a promise. And a promise to deliver on something with just a paper as proof. Therefore, the financial services brands have something very unique to create. The offerer becomes very important. The offerer brand and the trust you create with that brand becomes very important. And the second, to deliver that trust. Whether it is to deliver on that trust or deliver on that trust through a unique brand experience. Now, you'll be surprised with these logos because none of these logos represent the Indian financial services industry today. What I'm saying is think of what I've said so far and think what I'm saying ahead. You may not necessarily see financial services brands in a financial services category. Let me share with you my specific learnings now. My first and foremost learning over the many decades that I've been associated with this industry is that we do not represent the financial services industry. We do not represent the BFSI industry. We do not or should not represent the life insurance, mutual fund, health insurance industries. We represent the industry which stands for money and the role that money plays in the life of our customer. It suddenly expands the relevance of our category. The second is that we must start with what's in it for the customer. The customer does not wake up in the morning and say, I want a car loan. But he may wake up in the morning and say, I want a car, and a loan becomes a necessary evil towards that. So if we look at his life and we talk about money and give him one view of what money can do for his life and how his dream life is dependent on money. The third is how do we take a lifetime perspective of the customer? Our category normally is about sell, sell, sell. How much fresh sales have you done this year? I think with this category, you can sell and you can repeat sell, but only if you know the customer well. If you know the customer well, you will tell him what's in his interest as against what I call a Saradon doctor. If you come to me with a headache and I give you a Saradon, you'll be treated. If next you come to me with a heart ailment and I give you a Saradon, you won't be treated. Saradon cannot be the solution for all ailments. Therefore, I have to first ask you, what's your problem? And you can only do that when you go to the customer with money solutions. You can't do that if you go with a life insurance solution or only a mutual fund solution. Big debate on high touch versus high tech. I believe that debate is useless. You have to give me high touch. You have to give me high tech. And you have to let each customer decide what he wants, when he wants, why he wants it. And I assure you both will be relevant for all times to come hereafter. And like I said earlier, it's not about sell, it's about customer's lifetime value. And you can only tap his lifetime value and you can only be his preferred brand for his lifetime solutions if you give him the right product through the right channel through the right communications and at the right time. And how do you know that? How do you do that? You can only do that if you know the customer such that you feel you own the customer. You know the customer's buying habits, you know his transactional habits, you know his demographics, you know his behavior and attitude towards other products, other competing products. And by that, I don't mean financial services products, but where he competes to spend his share of wallet. And therefore, if you know the customer and you own the customer, now you'll realize why I had those 3 brands earlier as potential competition. The 7th point, which I believe is very unique for us, but possibly unique for all marketers, is 3-in-1. You are a marketer, you will remain a marketer, you will remain having a finger on the pulse of the customer. But if you don't have the look, the feel, and a finger on the pulse of the customer as far as technology is concerned, what is the latest technology, the benefit of which I can give to the customer? You will not be able to be a relevant marketer. So therefore, a CTO and a CMO mindset is important. But the third and equally, if not more important, if you ask me, is a CFO mindset, a chief financial officer mindset. Every rupee has to count. Those days of mass advertising, mass spends have gone. Unless you combine a CTO, CMO, and a CFO mindset, you will be history. And the 8th and last, which is not relevant only for our industry, but any industry, is to create a culture which is customer first and not a product first culture like the Indian financial services industry normally or typically has. The other uniqueness about our industry is compliance. Whatever you want to do, somebody's going to say you can't do it, but I'm sure you can find a way if you and compliance work hand in hand. Now, let's look at the entire data privacy laws that are coming. That applies to any category. Compliance is important. So let me end it by saying is for all of you Game of Thrones fans, you all hear and remember having heard the term, the winter is coming. I'd like to end my presentation today with this slide, which says the winter is not coming. The winter has come. The winter will stay with you every single day. You will have to keep re-looking at your customer, re-looking at your competition, re-looking at the way you reach out to your customer with relevant marketing, because every day is a new challenge. Every day, the winter has come. Thank you.